gamers, and welcome to episode 342 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for September 4th, 2021. We're about to hit Labor Day. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nixon. With me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
Yay, happy Labor Day. Yeah. So this week was a good week weather-wise. I mean, we coming from a super hot week.
Oh, yeah.
To a nice chill week.
Yeah. Downright chilly. Getting to be hoodie weather, Dominic.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Exactly. I love it. But I know last week we had, the hurricane that happened, which, I mean, it affected, of course, Louisiana and the states around there, but all up here, too. Yeah. Like the Northeast coast. I mean, I heard, subways were flooded in New York and, Jersey. Like, there was a flood here in Rockville that, people had to leave their homes, this apartment complex. And, I think 2 people died or something like that. There was 2 people who died, daughter? In that Rockville? Only one person died. Okay. Yeah, one person died. So, yeah, I mean, that storm was big. I mean, technically, it was stronger than Katrina. But thing is, with Katrina is that the levees broke. Right. It made it worse.
They had to reinforce them since then, thankfully.
And they held up pretty good. So that's good for that. But darn, hell of a storm.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I mean, I thought by the time they got up here, I mean, we'd get hard rain or something, but I didn't realize the damage. It was like tornadoes, I believe in the Annapolis area or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
The destruction. So, yeah, it was... That was a crazy week. It's pretty bad. I feel bad for the families that got affected by that.
Absolutely.
You got anything you want to say?
No, I'm right there with you. Prayers out to the families. It's crazy that, like you said, it came all the way up here. I mean, we in this area didn't specifically get much outside of rain, but right around us, there were tornadoes touching down and stuff. It's insane what the weather's doing nowadays. I mean,
it is insane. I mean, it's got to be something going on, right? It can't just be hey, this is just nature. It happens. But, I mean, it is nature, but it's happening a lot frequently than I heard in history, though. I didn't read in history this happening all the time.
I mean, even when you see it on, the news and whatnot, it's always this once in 100-year storm, and then a year later it's happening again. You're like, but I thought it was only once in 100 years. How come we're seeing it every year now?
Yeah, I mean, you already seen it when. Come on, look at that cold snap down in Texas, just last winter.
And I'm already seeing stuff about it going to be like that next year too.
And the heat wave that's been happening over there in the West. And the droughts they having. Shucks, that's what I'm saying. I wish the storm would somehow move over there. It's hey, they need rain.
Right.
Go over there.
We just need the power to control the weather, Dominic.
I know, exactly, man. We haven't got the weather machines yet, man.
Harness the hurricanes. Move them where we want them.
All right. You got anything else before I move on to sports?
Nah, I think it's sports.
College football started. Maryland won. I'm happy. I mean, ain't really much to say to that. All I care about is Maryland. College football. I mean, the best team won too. Alabama, they won. So what else happened? Orioles still suck. We're still in last place.
But they beat the Yankees, right?
We done one game. Won one game. Yeah, we won yesterday.
You gotta take your wins where you get them, Dominic.
I mean, hopefully he can win today and win the series. Yeah. I mean, I just hope we get to 50 games, man. And that's a damn sad. I mean, we should have been at 50 games. What else? We got NFL's coming up, it's happening. We got Thursday, we got a big game, Buccaneers and Cowboys. So this will be the one time I am rooting for Tom Brady. Then my Washington plays on Sunday. Yeah, it's gonna be a nice sports week. It's not really much. I'm trying to think. Anything else big happened? I mean, you got tennis going on happening. Unfortunately, most of the Americans are out. I think I heard for the women's there's one left. It sucks because I have no rooting interest. I don't mind watching tennis, but tennis is one of those sports I have to root for somebody. I guess I could root for Osaka. I mean,
You just got to pick
guess.
whoever the best player is that never gets out, and then go full in behind them.
Yeah. I don't feel right rooting for other countries, Daniel. I don't feel right doing that. I got nothing else. Anything happening in wrestling news? Any big wrestling news?
Nothing yet. I mean, tonight is the night All Out's going to happen, AEW's big pay-per-view, and this is when we're kind of expecting to see Daniel Bryan debut, so that's kind of, we're waiting on the news to occur, but right now it's all rumors, and it's really like speculation that is almost confirmed 100%. But at the same time, you still want to like temper your expectations. I mean, they've done even less to tease Daniel Bryan than they have with CM Punk. Like CM Punk, they would throw out like his catchphrases and stuff, like, and just the fact that they were in Chicago and they made it like a special show all of a sudden, just like 3 weeks out, they were like, we're doing this show in Chicago and now it's going to be like the biggest show on earth and everything like that. Whereas like Daniel Bryan, the most we've really heard is usually CM Punk saying something like, oh, I could use a tag team partner. Oh, is it Sunday yet when this posts? No, then I'll just keep my mouth shut. Like that kind of stuff. But I'm hoping it happens. Hoping I'm actually awake for it, because the big AEW shows usually go on like super late into the night, and I'm an old person and I just can't stay up that late anymore, Dominic. So at least I don't have to go to work in the morning with Labor Day tomorrow. So that's exciting. But unless I take a nap like in the afternoon, it's highly unlikely that I'm going to be able to stay up through this entire thing. Just going to wake up and be like, oh yeah, that's Daniel Bryan, then fall back asleep.
All right, so I guess we move on to what we've been watching. So, of course, you got the What If. You want to start with the Far From Home trailer, though?
Yeah, we can start
about
with
it
that.
last week.
Yeah, I mentioned it last week that we didn't talk about it because I had just completely forgotten about it. Yeah, I mean, this is most of what is in there is like the big surprises is stuff that I had been reading about for a while now that they're kind of going in the direction of. So I'd be interested to hear your opinion on them seemingly pulling different villains from all the different Spider-Man franchises. It looks like you have Doc Ock and Green Goblin.
I said Far From Home. What's it called, Daniel?
No Way Home. That's what
No
it is.
Way Home.
Yeah. Something home. Yeah. No, we're transversing back into the timeline, Dominic. We're
because
like 3 years
typed
ago.
in Far From Home. I was like, hey, this looks familiar.
Yeah. Oh, you were watching the Far From Home trailer. What's Jake Gyllenhaal doing here? Yeah, but you got Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe coming back from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. It looks like you've got. Now you didn't see them in the trailer.
See, then you spoiled it, Daniel.
Sorry.
You spoiled it for me because I didn't know they were coming back.
Well, they're in the trailer.
I'm just going by the. No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Alfred
William Dafoe's
Molina
not in,
is.
where's William Dafoe? Where's William Dafoe at in the trailer?
He laughs in there, and you see the Goblin Bomb.
That doesn't mean I'm going to see William Dafoe. I didn't know I was going to see William Dafoe, though. I said, oh, the Goblin's in here.
I mean, I don't know.
I
haven't seen one way, even rumor-wise, if he's like been confirmed on set or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the speculation is that, coupled with the fact that this is happening, that he will be in there. No, there's no official confirmation that he's going to be there.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because that's one thing I kind of forgot about, like reading up on all this stuff is like, he's dead. Like he got impaled by the goblin thingy. So yeah, it's.
I mean, I guess it could be a time machine kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't know,
right, exactly. Or maybe even just that it's a different timeline where in that timeline he survives and does whatever. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I wonder what they're going to do with that. Are we going to see other Spider-Men as well? Are we going to see Tobey Maguire come back as a 50-year-old Spider-Man? Are we going to get basically the live action version of Into the Spider-Verse? And if that's the case, are they going to go in the direction of maybe like a Miles Morales? Are we going to see him even like teased in there just to go, hey, what's going on with this?
With the Miles Morales thing, because this Spider-Man is kind of just is like Peter Parker and Miles Morales put together. That's what this Spider-Man is.
Is that because of like Ned and stuff?
Yeah, I mean the way based on what I read from Miles Morales and what I've seen from the 2 Spider-Man movies, it's kind of like what Miles Morales is going through more than what Peter Parker.
Nah, gotcha.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't agree? I mean, he got the Asian friend. I mean, come on, man. And
yeah, but he doesn't have like any of the powers, and obviously he's not black, so he's not having any of that experience there. So
I mean, no, I'm just because he's not black. I'm saying about
just like he's got an Asian friend. So
no, but yeah, but I'm just saying that he got a friend that knows his powers and like is his buddy. Then he has his aunt, but she knows who he is. That's just like Miles Morales. His parents know who he is.
Okay, they
know he's Spider-Man and does everything. I really think they just kind of just combine that story and mix it with Peter Parker to make it. I mean, it's a good story. I like the idea of like, oh, he doesn't have to hide it for everybody.
Yeah,
like he's not just alone with it, and his parent and his actual I guess not parent, but
like guardian.
His guardian knows what his identity is. And she's not saying she's so totally okay with it, but hey, she's accepting of it and knows what he has to deal with. And that's how, like Miles Morales, that's how they are with him.
Yeah.
I just can't believe you never noticed that. You act like it's not. I thought that was a thing that people knew. I mean, it was kind of the same.
I just never put the pieces together, I guess. Yeah. That I do like that aspect of like him having this circle around him that actually knows who he is, so he's not, there's a story to tell with that like struggle by himself, but that's like, I don't know, it almost feels like that's an older generation style thing to like suffer alone, whereas like nowadays exactly, everyone's so connected that it would feel weird that he doesn't have anybody that he can, express that to. And that's, I guess, one of the interesting factors in this trailer is, he seemingly goes to Doctor Strange to basically have the planet wiped knowing that he's Spider-Man, but then he realizes like, oh wait, I want Ned to know, I want MJ to know, I want Aunt May to know, so I'm interested to see where that goes, because like there are comic book arcs with similar things. There's like the I forget what they're called now, One More Day, and there's another one where he actually, because like One More Day he erases his marriage with MJ to save Aunt May's life or something like that, and then there's another one where he actually asks Doctor Strange to basically retcon his identity reveal or whatever. And I know some of those comics are a little iffy. People feel a certain way about them. But I'm intrigued to see where that actually goes, because there's kind of a weird like juxtaposition with Doctor Strange too, because at the beginning of the trailer he's like kind of fun guy, like I'm gonna help out Peter and make this work, because like Wong's going off into the thing and he's like winking at Peter like, no, we're totally not gonna erase the entire world's memory of Spider-Man or anything like that. And then by the end of the trailer he's like, you brought this on yourself, like what did you do? And what's going on there? Why did Doctor Strange feel a certain way at the beginning? Is it a multiverse thing? Is there like a different Doctor Strange? I'd be interested to see what's going on there.
Yeah, that is. I'm curious, like how this ends. How would this story end? Will people not remember him, or will he be stuck in some other universe? Or it's really open to possibilities. Like I can't picture like a ending, which is good. It's not just like these movies haven't been simple. I mean, at least the last one, like how that ended with him, everybody knowing his identity. I was like, oh, that's unexpected. I didn't expect that. And this is open up to a lot of possibilities how this could end. Because it might. I'm thinking like it's not going to end like a happy ending or something. Like, hey, everybody don't know who he is, and he's still with MJ. I just have a feeling like if he does happen that he fixes that nobody knows his identity, MJ don't know him again.
Right.
But I have a feeling it might be something far either worse or way off. Like something different might happen with this whole multiverse thing.
Yeah, because it's very much like you had Loki kind of kick that multiverse stuff up into high gear after like a little bit of a tease in WandaVision, and now this is like the next thing that seems to take advantage of that huge overarching story. Because I haven't seen Shang-Chi yet, but that seems more like its own kind of thing, and I'm sure it's got, its ties to everything else. But in the same way that like Black Widow was very much like its own thing, and sure, it references these other things, but this very much seems affected by what we saw in Loki and where we're going with like a Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So I'm very intrigued to see what they're going there. And it seems like, are we moving towards like possibly also having Venom introduced in this? It's still a Sony franchise.
Are they going to make it so that Venom is another universe?
I mean, that's if I couldn't see them tying it directly into the MCU, but if they were like, here's this other, in the same way that they'll probably tie, the Doc Ock in there, like he's from a different dimension or universe. I could see them actually doing that with Venom. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised by that.
Yeah.
So
exactly. They probably make that like, hey, that story's in another multiverse or something like that's not connected with this Spider-Man, which it's like I wanted to be connected, but then I don't, because like I said, I think Venom, you can't have, how do you have Venom without Spider-Man? Like, why does he look like that?
Right.
Like, the only reason Venom looks like the way he does is because he was attached to Spider-Man. They don't, like, if he wasn't attached to Spider-Man, why does he have his face similar to what Spider-Man is? Right. That's weird. But yeah, this is cool that you see older villains. Mm-hmm. It really opens it up. Like, yeah, I mean, I like the speculation of like, hey, you might see Tobey Maguire. We might see, what's the other guy name who did the last one?
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield. That'll be cool.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Oh, Andrew Garfield. That was called the Spectacular Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I thought it was called something else. But yeah,
the Amazing Spider-Man. Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say
the Spectacular Spider-Man is a cartoon.
That was yeah. This is I'm a little excited for this. I'm a little excited.
Yeah. Seems cool. I hope it doesn't get delayed. It seems like there's still a lot of speculation out there whether it'll come out or not due to COVID stuff. Still, just No,
I'm saying why you can't wait any longer?
Nope, can't wait any longer, Dominic.
Oh, okay.
I need it. Now, I mean, around that same time, we'll get like Eternals also. And that's interesting to me because those characters I just know like absolutely nothing about outside of what little I've read up on since they started talking about these and we've started seeing trailers. And I really wonder what that movie is even going to be. In this latest trailer, we finally saw some like actiony bits, so we know it's still a Marvel movie at heart. Because before that, it just seemed like this art movie, almost like this weird indie piece, which isn't necessarily surprising, I guess, considering the director who just won an Oscar. But I don't know. It just seems like it's, more art than superhero fluff. And we finally got some of that in that trailer. So not necessarily saying that would have been a bad thing. That's one thing I do like about these MCU movies is, while they are all superhero movies, they are also kind of like their own genre. They don't all share the same genre of like superhero. It's like, oh, this is a heist movie. This is, a kind of suspenseful thriller type thing. I've liked that. So I wouldn't mind seeing them branch out into more of like this is a indie masterpiece kind of movie if they had a story to tell in that. But
that's why I think a lot of people are not getting bored, even though you got some people saying that, oh, I'm tired of these superhero movies, but they're actually different.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't feel like I'm bored of them. I mean, I'm not like all on them like I used to be, but I still watch them, and because it's not boring. It's not like, oh, it's just the same thing as this movie. As like they're all different. So that's a good job. They did a good job with keeping it fresh with these movies. That even the sequels to them are different than like the same movie. If they have a sequel, it's different from the last one. I mean, it's like it feels fresh. So good job on that.
Absolutely. All right. So what if, Dominic, what'd you think this week?
Okay. When I first saw it, I didn't like it.
Okay.
I didn't like it at all.
Okay.
I mean, it was just like, because I felt like I've seen this before. See, I've seen the shows like this before. I've seen the movies even deal with this. Like a person is trying to change the past.
Right.
I mean, The Flash, I've seen that happen with that show. And I think it was probably a Star Trek or something like that, maybe. It's a lot of sci-fi shows I've seen do this before. Yeah. Like, oh, I gotta change it. I want to save this person or something like that. And so I was like, I already know how this is going to go. Even though it got more interesting that second half of that movie. Okay, I'm already dealing with spoilers already. So this is dealing with Doctor Strange. Let me give an overview. I mean, this is based on Doctor Strange, but in this universe, he is with the nurse,
Christine.
This time, like they are dating, and Christine. Her name's Christine, who played the nurse in the original Doctor Strange. So now they're in the car together, going to get his award, and when the car crashes, he doesn't mess up his hands. He comes out, I mean, just a little hurt, but she dies.
Right.
So he does everything the same after that, except for he wants to bring her back and like go back in time. And so that's what he does. He tries it, but she keeps dying, regardless of what they do. Whatever he does, even when they don't go to the award show, she gets shot or gets.
Yeah, that was a rough montage of just like her getting murdered over and over.
That was a rough montage. I mean, that was pretty bad. But then I think the second half really kind of made it like, this is interesting. With him going to another time to look at this library of magic books and stuff like that, and him getting more powerful and to be able to fix time, because apparently somebody did that before or got close to it. Because I still don't understand that part. I'm like, I guess the guy successful or not successful?
Yeah, it sounded like basically that he was the only one to ever change. I forget what they call them. Like I know in the other series, like they're kind of called Nexus events, or like that's what I take from them. But it's basically like a definitive point in time. No matter what you do, this is the way it's going to be. So like if we're still working off of like the Kang, he who remains kind of thing, it's like maybe these are the points in time where he's decided that this event must happen for this timeline, for the sacred timeline to continue in the direction that he wants, if he is in fact controlling everything. And what is it? Cagliostro is the sorcerer in Doctor Strange that has allegedly done this before. So he goes to like the library of Cagliostro to see if he can study and learn to control the same power. Yeah, so like eventually he just goes straight for it, right? Like he studies a little bit, and then he seemingly conjures that monster from the first What If, the like tentacle thing that Captain Carter fights, and just absolutely gets decimated by it basically. And he realizes, I need to build up my power. So like first he's like fighting this garden gnome who's evil. And then he fights like a bird and stuff. And he's like, all the while, he's just like sucking the souls out of these things. And the imagery is just so cool because like every time he absorbs one of these different odd creatures, he becomes like a visage of that in some way. Like there's even ones where he's like basically looking like Satan because he just absorbed like this red fire breathing dragon and he grows horns and spitting out fire and stuff. So once again, like I think this episode did really well with the art style of this show, adapting it and changing it and making it look really cool with the visuals that they were trying to show in it. Once again, like the people kind of stuff is a little bit meh, but I think once they explore like the more fantasy stuff with it, I think the art style isn't as bad as like I once thought it was. And just him going through and like absorbing all those powers. Meanwhile, like he's being told by everybody like this is a bad idea. You're gonna break something, and he's like, no, I got to do this. So he eventually gets.
His obsession with Christine is just...
It's unhealthy.
It definitely is. So I'm guessing that this Doctor Strange, he doesn't learn from his time becoming the Sorcerer Supreme that, like... Because the problem with Doctor Strange was that his flaw was that he feels like he can fix anything.
Right.
Because he's a great doctor or surgeon. He's a great surgeon who seems to be always successful, and that everything is able to be fixed. Mm-hmm. And while the Doctor Strange we know learns that, hey, sometimes you can't. It can't be fixed. Yeah. But this Doctor Strange does not accept that. Like he does not accept that at all.
Yeah, so he gets super powerful and then finds out he's still not powerful enough to save her because at some point during the timeline when the Ancient One tried to stop him from going down this path, she actually like split the timelines. So there's a timeline where Christine died and he accepted that eventually. Like he came to terms with that. And then there's this one that we've been watching this entire time where he's trying to grow and become more powerful. So then this new like supreme version of the Sorcerer Supreme, this evil version or I would say more corrupted version of Doctor Strange goes to the other Doctor Strange to then try and absorb him. So that of course commences in a nice little magic battle. But what was cool about it is like he absorbed him eventually, right? But then it almost seemed like that portion of him took over the body of this corrupted one because he realized like I'm destroying the universe by attempting to save her. Like I can't do this. And the coolest bit for me was when he recognizes that the Watcher was there, like watching over him, like do something about this. I've seen you just fucking following me this entire time. Like I know you have power that I don't have. Do something. And of course the Watcher's like I can't do anything until the eventual time when he's like, of course I got to do something, because that's the whole like Watcher trope, right? It's like they can't do anything until they decide they're going to do something. So I'd be interested to see if that's where this ends up leading to, is like in that final episode of this season, the Watcher finally realizes like, oh, things are going all over the place. I need to do something here to, whatever that event may be that he needs to stop. That'd be pretty cool. And then we're just, off to the races with this thing. Cause this, even more so than any of the previous episodes we've seen, like especially that last episode, that just feels like a what if type thing. Like, what if this happened to the Avengers? But this one very much feels like it could play a part in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness or something. He could come up against this corrupted Doctor Strange. A lot of people and that would be, on that. Crazy to see. So I like this episode. Obviously, there's issues about like the trope of like her only being there for, to be killed to motivate him. And that's kind of what you were saying, is like you've seen this trope a million times where even if it's not just, his love, it's always like someone's trying to go back and fixate on and fix the past. And then by doing that ruins the future in some way, shape, or form. But overall, I thought it was a really cool episode, and I like the direction it's going of seemingly pushing things a little bit forward every couple episodes. Well, like the first episode, it feels like they could do more with that in that universe, and then I'm sure they could do more stuff with the T'Challa Star-Lord thing, but obviously without Chadwick Boseman, it feels like that would just go in a different direction. And then last episode, it just very much felt like a one-off, like this is kind of a silly story to tell. I mean, obviously it was very dark, but silly in the way that we're not really going to revisit this reality again necessarily. Although I would be interested to see a crazy Hank Pym in a wasp costume, appear in one of these live action movies once we get into the real like nitty gritty of just absolute craziness that could happen in these movies. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was really neat.
I like it just because of the tone. I'm just glad that it's not just funny or fun or something like that, or like just happy ending. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess the last one was like that, but the last one I didn't really like the overall episode that much. But this one, right, I ended up really liking at the end, and I do like that. Okay, I like that they have a dark tone, so we don't have the same thing all the time. Like, hey, something silly, like like having fun trope, like not trope, fun quips and things of that nature. I mean, he has some little funny sayings, but it's just
because even in that first episode, like Steve comes back, exactly. Like he didn't die, so everything's kind of still a happy ending. And even at the end, she gets sucked into the portal and then she comes out the other end. So everyone's kind of all right at the end of the day, at the end of that episode.
So I'm looking forward, to the next ones to see what they come up with. All right. So I guess we get into what we've been playing. So you want to start?
Sure. Kick it off with Psychonauts 2. I played more of that, probably about an hour total or so more of that. I'm into what seems like the first kind of mission. I'm going to this casino in Forsyth's mind. She is kind of the leader of the Psychonauts. And they introduced this new ability where I see people's thoughts, like it gives me a word bubble, and then I have a power to like quick shoot to it. I'm trying to like zip line almost to it real quick, just pulls me in. And then it gives me different points and other word bubbles, and I connect them. So I'm like, the first demo of it is like, there's a cilantro bubble, and then there's a like disgust bubble. And if you connect those, then you see her thinking like, oh, cilantro tastes like soap. Or you could change it to make her think that cilantro is good, and then that opens up like different paths and stuff like that. It's a really neat kind of additional mechanic to it. The environment, the casino, which also was like a hospital at one point in her mind, is just beautiful, like crazy colors, LED lights, neon and stuff. It's really cool looking. The combat stuff is still very basic, and I don't think it's going to get any better or worse, to be honest. I think like you're going to get different powers, but it's mostly just going to be about these small instances of combat to kind of break up the platforming and story and puzzle stuff. And I think I'm all right with that. As long as it stays okay, as long as you don't get these enemies where it's going to just be a chore to fight them, I think that'll be fine. And so far they've added a couple of more different enemy types. Like there's one that throws bombs and stuff, and then you can pick those bombs up with the telekinesis and throw them at people. I think that's all fine, but I think part of it for me is just like the melee aspect of the combat is a little bit stiff. Like I typically expect dodge rolls to break animations of like me swiping, but in this game it doesn't, and I don't like that because like I understand in a Dark Souls where it's like animation priority. If I swing my sword, then I have to go fully through with swinging the sword before I can dodge. But in something like this, where that's not the focus of the game and it should be looser and more playful, I really feel like you should just be able to dodge out of an animation. And it makes combat feel stiff in a way that I don't necessarily like. But overall, my overall experience is still really good with that game. I'm enjoying it. Just got to find more time to play it. And then, Ed, do you have any questions before I get into the other one?
Oh, no, you good, man.
Okay. And then I started playing 12 Minutes. We talked about that a little bit last week because you were playing that. I played about an hour of it, and I think like part of me wants to be done with it because it very much is repetitive, and I'm at the point now where there's like things that I would like to do, or like if it was just me in the situation, this is how I would like to try to move forward, but like it's not allowing me to do those things. So there's obviously like a relatively rigid structure it wants me to follow in kind of puzzling my way through this scenario. And whatever the next step is that I need to do, I'm just not finding it. And I just keep going through the same cycle over and over again. It's like we were talking about last week a little bit, where it's like there's no kind of checkpointing or, okay, this is the right direction to go with it. Like I need to pick up this item and this item. So let's just skip to that part where I've already got these items. No, it's every cycle. I'm going over, I'm picking up this thing. I'm picking up this other thing. I'm going through this conversation with her to, try and convince her not to open the door. And then it's like by the time I get through all that, I don't have that much more time to then explore what other things I can do. And at this point, I'm honestly to the point where it's like, I feel like, and I know it's not true because otherwise I would be moved past where I'm at, but it feels like I've picked up everything that I'm able to in that apartment. There's only 3 rooms. The bathroom really doesn't seem like there's a lot for me to do in there. Like there's the medicine cabinet that has the sleeping pills. There's a toilet and a shower that doesn't do anything and a window that doesn't do anything. Like here's the thing. Like it amazes me that I know that this guy is going to kill me. Spoilers. This happens in the first, 5 minutes of you playing the game. That's kind of the whole loop of the game. But you know that something's going to happen with this guy, and he doesn't even attempt to climb out the window.
I know. Exactly.
Now, I know I finally attempted to go back out the door thinking like maybe I could like grab the fake rock or something that McCree was hidden in, or go to one of the other 2 apartments and maybe there are more things there for me to, utilize. But then the cycle starts over again. So at least if he would say like, oh, I could try climbing out the window, but the cycle is going to restart, even though if you don't try it, you don't know that that's going to happen. At least something. But like I go up to the window and he's like, it's raining outside. And it's like, really, my dude? Like, or like the bedroom, like, why don't you try and push the dresser over in front of the door so he can't kick the door in, I mean, it took me a couple of beats to realize that there was a lock on the bathroom door and also even on the front door. But even then, he eventually just kicks those things in.
Yeah,
like, can I push something in front of him or do something? Or like when I try and stab him with the knife, he's like overpowers me. But also I like try and hide in the closet and wait for him to, be busy tying up my wife. And I try and stab him, and that didn't work because he still just turns around. Like everything, it's so rigid. That's really what I don't like about it, is like it feels like this should be like this puzzle playground almost, where you have all these things and you should just be able to try different things. But it really feels like at the end of the day, it's very much going to be like, oh, well, you needed to do this, and then you needed to do this, and then you needed to do this. And that's the only way to go down this path. You can't take it in any order that you want. Because like there are even times where, depending on the conversation that you have with your wife, like she just completely shuts down.
She shuts down. Yeah, she won't talk to you.
And then it's like, so am I wasting my time now, or can I get this back on track? It's very frustrating in that way.
I wish there was like a rewind. Like you could just rewind it back to a part. Like how the Life is Strange rewind or something like that. I wish it was like a thing like, hey, hold this trigger and it rewind. You can rewind back or do over, because I had to keep doing the same thing over again because I played it too again, and it's just that like I know what I have to do. I mean, well, what the one way I'm trying to do it, but I have to do all these things again. I do all these things together again, and it takes a while, and I don't like how stiff the controls are. Like it's not real loose, so it's like, oh, if I mess up something or I take too long, it's like, oh, I messed up, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to fast. Well, there is a little fast forward button that you can fast forward till he comes. But I still got to wait till he kills me or something. I wish it was just, wish you could just start over again. It's hit like, oh, I'm going to start over again. Yeah. But yeah.
Are you playing with a controller or are you playing with a mouse and keyboard?
I'm playing with a controller.
Okay. How is that? Because I've been playing with the mouse and keyboard, so it's actually just the mouse. Like that's literally it. You press the left mouse button to where you want to go, and the right mouse button actually just brings up the main menu. Which, if you see it in the video of my gameplay, it's like every once in a while the menu will just pop up, and it's because I pressed the wrong mouse button. Oh, okay. But yeah, it feels super stiff on the mouse, and
that's the same way in the controller. It's stiff.
Are you controlling a pointer or are you direct controlling the character?
That you may forget. I think you're
sorry.
You use it just like the mouse. I think you're just clicking and you get the walk over. I don't think you can control them with the stick. Maybe can.
And that's
maybe
I was thinking that's the way it would be, man. So that's why I use the mouse.
I'm play the game right now.
Okay. Yeah, because it feels like if I was using the controller, if that's all I was doing, it would just feel even more precise, and I would just get even more frustrated because it's like, just do the thing, just go over there, grab the cup, and put the thing in the cup, and it gets so frustrating. It's like, hurry up, and then like, oh no, I hit the side or something. He goes over here, so oh no, god damn it. I want to put the two things down. I want to put the two desserts down on the table, but I didn't finish putting the first dessert down. So like, he's not going to put the second one down. He's just going to put the second one down and didn't put the first one down. It's like, I just wish this worked better. Like I'm almost at the point where like, I'm interested in the story. I do want to see where that goes. So I'm like, should I just watch this on YouTube of someone like speed running this?
Yeah.
But also like, I want to solve the problem, but also like it's too frustrating. Like there's not enough quality of life stuff there to keep me wanting to bump my head up against the wall just to figure the problem out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, I couldn't do the game because it's something with Xbox Game Pass for the streaming. If I don't have my controller turned on, and then I use it, it won't work.
Yeah. I saw that the other day because I was trying to. Yeah, I don't even know because I tried loading this game up on my laptop just to see because I figured it was like mouse control, and it was like, nope, it didn't want to do anything. Like it didn't react to me at all. So I was like, okay, and then I just played it on my PC because I had it downloaded already. But yeah, it's a game that's fascinating to me, but also like frustrating in a way that makes me really not want to play the game. Like the story's interesting.
Yeah,
but
you move it just like the mouse does. I have to click to where to go. So yeah, that sucks. That freaking sucks.
Yeah, that'd be frustrating. So I will say, like the voice acting, not terrible, but also not great. But also like James McAvoy is completely like unrecognizable to me. If you didn't tell me that was him, I would not realize that was him.
I don't know who the hell that is. Who's James McAvoy?
Professor Xavier in the newer X-Men movies.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be the main character. And then Daisy Ridley from Star Wars is the woman. And I can hear her voice, but also I don't know that I would necessarily recognize it was her. Willem Dafoe obviously is just, I mean, you had to recognize him at least, right? It's like no one else has a voice like William Dafoe.
I didn't really think about who was talking for these people, honestly.
Gotcha. The only reason I know is because they made it a big deal like a year or so ago when this game started getting bigger. Because originally I don't think it had those actors. And then at a certain point they were like, yeah, now we got this huge cast of characters, you know, now that it seems like there's a lot of interest in this game. So they kind of advertised that stuff for a while there. That's the only reason I really thought about it. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that game. I don't know. I don't want to give up on it, and I want to know the story, but also the gameplay of it is just so frustrating because it's like there's nothing realistic about this scenario. Well, I mean, obviously there's not a lot realistic about a like weird time loop scenario, but also just like your inability to do things like the electrical switch that electrocutes you. Like, why can't I hide under the bed and then make that man turn on the electrical switch and electrocute himself? And maybe I can. You can. And I just haven't figured out.
Yeah, you just didn't figure it
the
out.
exact scenario where I have to do that. But that's frustrating to me because I'm like, I hear him come in the door. I click on the bed and he's like, nah, not right now. It's like, what do you mean? Hide under the bed, climb out the window, do something. You know, I was listening to one podcast and they were talking about like the idea of this game in VR, and like if it was like a VR playground thing where you could basically just do anything, like I said, like move the dresser in front of the door, like even push the dude into the light switch or something like that. Like, just give me more flexibility. That's really what I want is more flexibility. And this game is just not giving me that. And
this game,
that's what's so frustrating about it.
It just feels like it feels a lot longer than I want it to be because of me keep going back and back.
Right. This would be a cool 2-hour, experience. Well, maybe not. I don't know how long the actual game is if you know what you're doing in it. But like, if it made sense and there were like checkpoints, things like that, like this would be a cool, like sit down and play through it in one play, in one sit down, like 1.5, 2 hour, even 2.5 hour experience. But yeah, when you're just repetitively doing the same thing over and over again and not necessarily progressing in any way, it's really frustrating.
All right, so was that all you played?
Yeah, that's been it for me. We've been playing this week now.
So I've been playing some more of the Dodgeball Academia or
Very
Academy.
Nice. How are you liking that?
It's Academia, right? What is it? Or Academy?
Yes, Academia. Okay. I was trying to think like maybe it's not because I remember you making the joke last week of my Dodgeball Academia. Yeah, but it was you adding my to it that was the joke, I believe.
All right, so this game is very, it's a lot of Pokemon elements too, because you can walk past people and they'll fight you in
challenge you to a dodgeball.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, hey, I want to fight you or something like that. I was like, oh, that's just like, walking in the grass and you see somebody challenge you to a Pokemon fight. So I was like, oh, okay, and it is like that. I mean, you also win badges. You have to get these 3 badges so you can do it in a tournament. Okay. So I was like, okay, this is like a mix of Pokemon and Golf Story put together. And it's fun. It's gotten challenging for me now. Now I think I finally lost a match. So, because now they have it where they have different rule sets. And this one rule set is where if you get somebody out on their team, they get to go behind you on your side. So if the ball goes past you, they can pick it up and try to hit you with it. So you got to dodge them too. So it makes it more challenging. And then there was one dude, I think he was a higher level than I was. Like it was hard to beat him. I think I eventually did beat him though. But like I actually made it easier because they got it where you can make it so that the damage you take is less, like you can scale it from 0 to 100, or the damage you actually do to the opponent from 0 to 100 too. So you can make the damage less, that's what I did. Cause like, this guy's too high and I want to beat him. I don't want to level up. So yeah, I just pulled it down and beat him. But yeah, I like the story. It's a fun game. I mean, it's a fun game. It's cute. It's cool. I like the elements they have in here. Yeah, the like I said, it's definitely a Pokemon cross golf story that I think people will enjoy. Like, if you like those type of games, this is a game I think you can just enjoy, because the dodgeball is fun. The dodgeball aspect of it, the actual gameplay, it's really fun. And I haven't played online against anybody or anything, so I haven't tried that yet. But yeah, I think they did a good job with this game. This was a surprise for me, because I think I heard about it, but I just didn't think about it, because there's so many indie games, that comes out every year, and then it's like a big montage a lot of times when you looking at these shows. So it's just that a lot of things get lost. I don't remember. But Game Pass helps with that, though. It helps when they say, hey, new games. And it's like, oh, yeah, I remember this indie game. They talked about this before. And definitely. I got to try it. All right. So now I finished, since I finished Mass Effect, I started Trails in the Sky. Trails of Cold Steel 2. Started playing that again. So, I ain't going to say much on that. Yeah, I liked it, so I'm just going through that story again. Oh, but it is a new game plus with it, so I get some extra things, extra costumes, which I'm happy about, because one of these girls, I feel like she's too young and she's showing too much skin, and I found a costume to cover her up a little bit. I was like, I always found that disturbing. Well, why are you wearing this? Yeah, I was like, these Japanese people, I swear. I was like, why do y'all do this? Like, it's one thing, okay, why can't you do it the older ones? Why you had to be the one who's like, she's actually younger than everybody else? I think everybody's is around 16 or 17. I don't think nobody's 18, but she's like 15. And I'm like, does she really have to be wearing this? You sons of bitches. So anyway. But yeah. But the game, I like it. I already talked about this game so much. I'll don't really have to go into details with it. All right, so also been playing some Injustice 2. I've been playing a lot of Injustice 2 because it's on Game Pass and it does load fast. So I'm like, yay, I don't mind playing this game. Like, I get the fights real fast. So even if I lose, I can keep playing. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of that. But this weekend, I think Friday, Injustice 2 was down for almost everybody, really. Because what happened? I don't know. You can't start the game. Like, if you put the latest update on, you can't even start to play single player. It'll crash.
Oh, good Lord.
It'll stop. So on Game Pass, it wasn't working. So I was thinking like, maybe it's just a Game Pass thing. But I'm hearing people on all systems are having a problem. And some people are still playing this game. And they're angry because they're like, wait a minute. What if I just want to play single player? Why can't I start this game? Why do I have to log online to start this game? And a guy said, yeah, with this update messes it up, because even if you go offline to not even attach to be online, it still crashes because of the update. So yeah, some people are angry, and you see some people saying like, oh, I can't believe y'all angry about this. What's wrong with y'all? And I don't understand. It's like, it's a game I paid for.
What do you mean? I was going to say, it's a game that I paid for and I can't play it now.
Yeah, I don't understand how people, like, how they think that's privilege. And I'm like, I paid for it. Yeah. Jackass. That's stupid. Why would you, if there's something I pay for, it can't work, and it's not my fault? Of course I'm being fucking angry. What the hell?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which that's on top of what you were already telling me with that, where like it was having trouble with the tower stuff, right? Yes, exactly. So it's just, I don't know what it's got to be because of the updates they did. And it's like, what are you doing over there? Anyway, but they are saying they're fixing it. So it's like, oh, well, hopefully they work on it, because now I was really getting into it. So I play a little Killer Instinct, because I had a fighting itch, man. And yeah. It was all right, but I was like, I want to play some Injustice. I really just want to play some Injustice. Well, then Killer Instinct. I played as, I don't know her name. She's a jungle woman. She kind of looks like she may be dark, black, maybe Brazilian. I don't know. But she's like in the jungle or something. Not Black Orchid, right?
What does she look like?
She's the one with like the green not bow staff things, like arm tongas or whatever they're called.
Nah, not her.
Okay.
All right. I think this girl has daggers.
Gotcha.
So what else have I played? I played a new game called Dreamscaper, which came out I think a month ago. I heard it from somewhere. My friend has it. So I was like, let me try it. It is a roguelike game.
Okay.
And it's very kind of reminds me of Hades because it has like out of you going to the dungeons. Well, it's not a dungeon. You're going to your dreams. But out of the dream space, it's like a area where you can do things or talk to people. But I haven't got that far. You unlock more things as you go through your dreams. So I was like, okay, it might be like an actual decent story with this roguelike game, which I like from Hades. And it's okay so far. It seems like, I don't know. I think as you go on, you find out what's really going on. It just seems like I have a feeling I'm playing as a depressed person. Yeah, you're playing as I believe, a woman. And I guess you're going through the dreams of your memories of the town you used to be in. Or I don't know if you're currently there, but it's like you're going through your memories. I don't know why. I guess as you play on, you'll find out why you're seeing these old memories. Because the dream I'm in seems like it's an old neighborhood. Like I'm walking through an old neighborhood, and each section has doors. You know, like these. I guess the doors are like a little vortex thing, which you can go through. Or some of them are locked, so you have to find a key to open them. And it's just like other roguelike dungeon games where, I was trying to think of the one I played recently that's just really similar. And the Abyss, Neon Abyss, where, hey, you might randomly go to the boss already, you know, because you just walking through. But luckily you can back right out because I was like, oh, I ain't ready yet. I ain't got like enough power yet or anything, or weapons. So yeah, you can pick up random weapons and you can carry some things back to help make you stronger on your next run. So it does have that aspect of it. So it's all right. It seemed like an all right game. But now, from what I read about it, is that it's okay. It's not, of course, it's not like Hades. It's not Hades level good, but I heard people do enjoy it. So maybe I'll get back into it. Because I really just tried it because I'm trying to get some video for the podcast. So I want to try something different. I was like, because I didn't want to do some more... what's the game I played?
Trails of Gold Seal.
No, not that. Well, I definitely didn't want to do that one. It was hold on, I'm about to look it up now. Forgotten. I didn't want to do more of that because
gotcha.
That
spoiler
spoils. Yeah, it's gonna spoil.
Gotcha.
Because that's the kind of game it is. And I don't know where it's gonna be a big spoiler because I'm just testing everything out. So I was like, I'm not gonna waste my time doing that one. Yeah, I did play some more of that. I don't have it up here. I just remembered. Yeah, I played some more of the Forgotten. I'm trying to think what anything big happened. Yeah, I did get to a point where I just let it play out. It is timed. It is a time-based, like time does move. So I finally got to a point where I just let it move. I mean, I didn't do it purposely, but I was just exploring. And then it ends with a vote because there's a vote to change the magistrates. And so... the magistrate that is currently there, he's the one who opens the portal for me so that I can come through and from the future and help them out. So, and he's the one who's kind of keeping the golden rule going, while the one who's trying to run to be the magistrate, he doesn't believe in the golden rule. So he wins the election because more people voted for him because they want more freedom. And he said, yeah, this golden rule is just a farce. And he made an execution for the other guy. And that's when you realize, that's when all those statues come to life and say, oh, and that booming God voice comes like you have broken the rule or something like that. I was like, oh. And so I try to tell him, the guy was running and say, hey, the golden rule is real. But of course he don't believe you. Like there's only one way to prove it. And and he's just going to die and not remember again when you go back. So you have to find a way for him to lose the election or have this other guy run, I believe. Now, I don't know if that's going to work. If I get the other guy to run, maybe he breaks the golden rule afterwards. I have no idea. So, yeah, it's a lot of possibilities. It's another possibility I'm supposed to find a way out. Look, I think someone has found a way out of the place, I believe. And I'm trying to find a clue of where they went. or where are they? Maybe they didn't find a way, but they're somewhere else. I have no idea. It's so much stuff you can do in this world. See, this is I like this way of doing time manipulation and things of that nature, compared to 12 minutes, because this, you can hurry up and do everything you did. Like if you go to the first person who you meet, you could tell them, hey, give this medicine to this person. This will help them live. Because you keep the items. You keep the items you got. And I say, give this medicine to this person. Give this letter to this person. Tell this person to go here. So I don't have to go through none of that no more and continue on with moving forward without having to do things all over again. So that's what makes this game a lot more fun than like how 12 Minutes did it. I wish 12 Minutes had some aspect of that. Not that you keep items, of course, but it's not that type of game. But some way where, like we said before, you kind of can say, hey, I want to do everything from this run that I did previously. Or at least I like a little rewind button. Like a little rewind, because it's just too much to go through that stuff again. All right. So what else have I played? Okay, this game is called Seed of the Dead. And this is a Japanese game. It was actually Seed of the Dead, I think that's the original one. Does this have a subtitle?
I think the second one has a...
Yeah, Sweet Home. I think it's called Sweet Home. Yes. I played that one. I played the sequel because that came out recently. I forgot how I saw this, Daniel. I don't know how I saw this game.
It's blame Twitter.
Was it Twitter? Was that how I sent it to you?
No, you just texted me about it, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember how I saw it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this game.
Maybe it was just on Steam because, some of that stuff gets surfaced on there if you turn that option on.
Oh, yeah. So I said, let me go look at this game. I'm going to try this game for science to understand it. And it's so...
Like an anthropologist.
This game is a shooter like Left 4 Dead. It's like Left 4 Dead. You have 4 characters, which I don't know if it's multiplayer, honestly. But the other NPCs are anime people. You play as this generic girl or boy. So you shoot zombies and stuff. You have a base that you go back to and everything. But it is very sexual because now I play the uncensored version of it. And how you heal your fellow teammates is by fucking them. So if they're down in health, you go to them. And now in the censored version, which we just looked up, because I was like, what do you do in the censored version? You rub them sexually, but they don't take their clothes off. It's still weird. So, but this, you actually just fuck them and the health goes up. Wherever, it's a mini game. So you have to keep hitting the button at the right time, at the right moment when it goes, like it's one of those, not where you mash the button. It's where like, hey, there's a line or something that's moving. You have to hit it to the target and right target. So that's what you do. And based on that, it's how much health they'll gain. And I was like, oh my God, this is, because I didn't know how this game was going to go. I was wondering, like, I was thinking like, oh, uncensored version, they probably just lose their clothes and be naked, which they can. As long as they keep losing health, more of the clothes do fall off. But I did not realize that's what's going to happen. Because when I saw her take her clothes, I was like, what the hell? And like the first time, I didn't really get much help because I was confused. It was very confusing at first. But yeah, this game is a very dirty game. It's a very dirty game. Very, not for kids. Not for kids. It's, well, technically Left 4 Dead is not for kids either. but it's so.
But this is AO.
This is definitely adult
only.
Yeah, adult freaky fetish shit. Because there was a point where you can build up, like as the game goes on, and you love those characters, they level up, and then you can have conversations with them where you can they'll talk about certain things, and which is one time I just fast forward because it was so stupid, and I was like, God fucking damn it! It's all in Japanese. Like if you know Japanese, at least you can just listen to it, but they don't. It's not English dubbed. So sometimes I fast forward through it. And then there's one point where it was a mini game. It was like a peep show thing that you could peep in on a girl in the stall and while she's using the bathroom. And if she catches you, like there's a meter. So it's like, oh, you got to keep doing it before she catches you. Like you have to back up. And I was like, oh my God, this is, I think I'm not going to play no more. I said, I got enough. I got enough to know what this game is. Oh, there's also a part of the game where there was another mini game with another girl where she goes into the hot springs and you turn into a little naked dude. And they pixelate the private areas in this game. Okay. So I guess that's good.
Sounds about right.
But you turn, you somehow shrink and you have to, you slide down this well, like something, I don't know what it is. You slide down to the hot springs. You have to land into this bucket. And if you land into the bucket and you get a certain amount of points, like you gain seconds. And I realized what am I gaining? I'm gaining seconds for what? Then after it finishes, you're gaining seconds to be how long you can stare at these girls in the hot tub, basically now.
Okay.
That's what you're gaining seconds for. So it's, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, maybe a high school me, or middle school me would have loved this. Love this game. Probably middle school. Maybe middle school. I think I would be like, oh God. Dead or Alive, I think was enough for me. I said, this is gone too far. But middle school me would definitely have been playing the shit out of this game. But yeah,
this is the new Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah, this makes Leisure Suit Larry look so tame. It's very out there. And this is probably not a new thing. It's a new thing for me because I never played a game like this. But there are plenty of games like this on Steam you could probably find. Now, I will say the production value of it's bad, but maybe it's good for a type of game like this. I don't know. I want to know if there's any game that's better graphically in this that does this stuff. But yeah, because I mean, if you just based off the game, the gameplay it's mediocre. It's mediocre shooting, things of that nature. Plus, I had a trainer for the damn game too. So
yeah,
you know what? That's where I probably saw it. When I was looking up trainers, I saw that game and I was like, what is this game that they have a trainer for? Because even the trainer says, hey, get the uncensored version. I said, uncensored? Like, you have to download that patch. Right. I was like, oh, well, I'll just try this game out. And yeah, it's very disturbing game. But now I know. Now I know what those people see. And I was like, okay, hey, whatever. I think it should be nominated, though, for Game of the Year, though. It should be nominated for some award. It should be nominated for some award.
We'll make sure it goes on our award list, though.
Yeah. I'll probably nominate it for mine.
Hentai Game of the Year.
Okay, I played some more Ace Attorney. And I think, what am I on? The third? I think I'm on the third case now on the third case for the second game. And yeah, I'm getting cases where people don't die. Like the last case I did, the person that died, he got poisoned, but he survived. And then this one, well, a person did die in this one, so never mind. It's back to being murder again. But I do like that I finally did do a case where it's not just murder, it's attempted murder. It's like, okay, it's something different, which I still want to do a case that has nothing to do with murder, but that's everything to do with murder. I mean, it's kind of like Matlock.
That's the only ones that go in front of a court.
Like Matlock, I think most of his cases are murder, right? I mean, at least the ones I can think of, somebody died. I'm trying to think of a Matlock I've seen where nobody died.
Because otherwise we just throw them in jail, Dominic, and we forget about them. It's only murder that you might
Maybe it's not all murder. I don't know. I don't remember. But I've seen a lot of people die. Yeah, I mean, Matlock. I've seen a lot of people who are dead, so. But yeah. Game's still fun. I mean, it's Ace Attorney. Not much to say there. All right. So I guess we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. And now we're flashbacking to 2011. New month here, Daniel. New month, September.
Yeah.
So 10 years ago in September, this week, really nothing big happened. I mean, no, not a lot of games, but something big did happen. Nintendo started the ambassador program. So you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so when the 3DS originally came out in March of 2011, it didn't really get too much steam. It came out, what did I say it was? $250, Dominic? That's maybe a little absurd price-wise. Now, it's kind of weird because like it was super innovative at the time. We're talking about 3D without the glasses, right? That's not something we were seeing. You know, TVs were around at that time, movies, 3D was kind of the big thing around that time. But here Nintendo comes along and they're like, "Yo, you can look at this stuff in 3D without glasses on." So we're gonna mark it up to $250. Meanwhile, that's like almost the price of your console, right? So yep. People weren't happy about that, and there weren't a lot of games that they released that were really selling people on it. So by September, they realized we should really lower the price on this thing. So they knocked it all the way down to $170, which
very un-Nintendo-like.
Yeah. I think that was at the time when Iwata was also in charge of stuff, and he took a pay cut because of how poorly it was performing, instead of, firing people and lowering their wages.
Or taking the sword to themselves.
Taking the sword to themselves. He's dead, Dominic. That's not a funny joke anymore.
But time passed. How many years has it been?
It's been a while. But yeah, so a lot of people, of course, were unhappy about the fact that they had bought this console, and here they are now getting it, Nintendo's selling it for a whole lot cheaper. That's an $80 difference. That's pretty substantial in the grand scheme of things.
That's two 3DS games probably, because they're like $40, baby. Yeah,
they were like $40. Yeah. So yeah, as a way to kind of mitigate the anger, Nintendo announced the Ambassador program, which initially was if you had bought that system and registered it and updated it before, I think it was time in August. Yeah, if you bought it before August 12th of 2011, you could get the NES game Super Mario Brothers, Metroid, The Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, Balloon Fight, Ice Climber, NES Open, Tournament Golf, Donkey Kong Jr., Yoshi, and Wrecking Crew. Games that we now see on like the Nintendo online service library, basically. Yes. And then at a later time in December of that same year, 2011, they actually added Game Boy Advance games. And this is when I started to get like really jealous, because they added Metroid Fusion, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Mario Kart Super Circuit, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Bros. 3, WarioWare Inc. Mega Games, The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap.
Oh my god.
Fire Emblem, The Sacred Stones.
Damn.
Wario Land 4, F-Zero Maximum Velocity, and Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. So like that's just such a heavy hitter lineup right there.
Very un-Nintendo-like.
Yes. Very un-Nintendo-like to just give these games away. So yeah, it sucked to have paid $250 for that console, I'm sure, up front. And I didn't at the time, because it was so expensive and because they didn't have those things. It wasn't until much later that I got a 3DS.
And you were scared. You were scared of that new technology.
I was scared that it was going to rot my brain, Dominic.
Yeah, 3D with no glasses? That's unheard of.
The FDA did not approve it yet, Dominic. Yeah, so... but by the time they started saying like these are the games, and they were basically like only available through that too, because they didn't even add them later through like the I forget what they called it now, the game thing, games library,
eShop.
No, that's what came to mind too. But I can't. Virtual console, virtual console, because they did do virtual console on the 3DS too, right? Didn't they? In addition to the Wii,
I thought they just called it eShop. I didn't know they did that. Did they take it away? Because I don't remember seeing that on when I got the 3DS, but I got probably been updated.
Let me see. 3DS, because I thought they did, but those games specifically, yeah, they had a virtual console on there for like Super Nintendo games and stuff like that. Yeah. But they never released those games as games that you could get on there. And it was like, oh man, all those games are locked behind this ambassador program, which I have no way of getting into. And that just kind of sucked. And, it's hopefully we'll see them elsewhere soon. But at the same time, it's like I'd just play them on my Vita. So that's a whole other thing. But it would be nice to see those games come to the Switch in some form or fashion, and maybe we'll have news in regards to that later on.
All right.
Good.
So, what we got here? So, I guess we're going back 20 years now to 2001, and it's only 2 games, and they're not even really worth mentioning, but I wanted to say some. They just have something to say for 2001. Rocket Power Team Rocket Rescue for the PlayStation.
Oh, come on. Rocket Power is always worth mentioning, Dominic.
Yeah, it was a great cartoon.
This
is probably the best looking Rocket Power game out there, because the last one we talked about was a Game Boy game. You know what?
I was going to say like Game Boy Color or something.
Yeah, but you know what? That probably look better than this one. Who knows? Because of the
I was going to say PlayStation game. Yeah.
So, and then we have Stuart Little, The Journey Home on Game Boy Color came out. Stuart Little, the Michael J. Fox Mouse movie. And he talked for Stuart Little in this game too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was joking.
I always forgot that he was Stuart Little.
So was he was him in the sequel, right? Did the sequel come to theaters? That came to theaters, right?
I think so. I think it was big enough that it came to theaters.
Was there a third one?
And apparently, yes. Stuart Little 3, Call of the Wild in 2005.
And did he do that?
Still starring Michael J. Fox.
Was that straight to DVD?
Let's see.
I don't remember that one. I remember 2.
It was a 2005 American-Canadian direct-to-video computer animated film.
Oh, okay. It was computer animated.
The whole thing computer animated?
I've definitely never seen that one.
Now I need to see the trailer for this thing. I'm just wondering if they're calling it computer animated because
of him.
He's CG or if...
Exactly.
Oh, no, this whole thing is... You know what, Dominic? It kind of looks like What If.
Oh, really?
Like it has that very basic ass, also MTV Spider-Man level of animation to it.
I see it now.
Wow.
It really does. Yeah, it really does.
You, Lori, how fall you have fallen.
How's that Team Rocket Rescue looks like?
It doesn't look terrible. I mean, it looks like a PlayStation game, but also I feel like these screenshots that I'm seeing are like up-res emulated ones or something because they're not nearly as jaggy as I would expect them to be.
All right. So that's it for the game. So as you know, every month we do is look at video game covers from these decades. So starting with 2011, we got Game Informer on the cup. Their cover was Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
As you see the dwarf guy on the front. Actually, I don't know if he's a dwarf. I just think he's just a short man. I don't know if dwarves were a thing there. Even though, you know what? They got away with midget in this game. Now, you know what? I wonder, did they call them midgets in the third game? I think they changed it. I mean, I don't know. I just have a feeling that they changed it. Because I'm surprised they got away with calling the bad guys, the little bad guys, midgets.
Yeah.
But
according to this article from 2019, Borderlands 3 does not have them as it is not super sensitive.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. So, yeah, Borderlands 2, I was really... You know what? Actually, I was like somewhat excited because Borderlands 1 I liked, but I got pretty much tired of it quickly. But when I saw the improvements of 2, and then my friend wanted it, I was like, okay, I'll get 2. And that was fun as hell. That was. I mean, it's the best Borderlands game. I mean, even till now.
Dominic,
Even
they now refer
3.
to those enemies as tinks.
That's right. I remember. Yes, in 3, yeah, they call them tinks. Yes.
That's a way, I guess. To
yeah, I know.
refer to them. Tinkerbells, I guess.
Some reason when I think of tink, I think of an anus for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh God.
All right. So next video game cover we got here. We got PC Gamer. It's BioShock Infinite in the front.
Oh yeah.
And looked like the drawing almost like the game art of it. Like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Looks good.
Yeah.
I like that cover.
So what we got here? Space-time rifts, aerial combat, the secrets behind Irrational's high-flying adventure. Also, they reviewed Dirt 3, Frozen Synapses, Terraria, Fallout New Vegas. Wow, Terraria came out 10 years ago. So, I don't remember. Did I say that game? Did we say that?
I feel like you did. I
Okay.
feel like we've talked about it.
Maybe we did.
It was at least on a cover of something, maybe.
Yeah. StarCraft 2, Heart of Swarm, new campaign, and saying new rules, which is funny. I bought this game and still haven't played it. And now, since Blizzard's doing this bad stuff, I was like, damn it. I missed my chance.
Yep.
Missed my chance.
Can't get back now, Dominic. Can't get back.
Here at last, Guns on Cows. It's about damn time. I've been waiting for that forever. I don't know what the hell that's about. I don't know what is this. I don't know what this is about. But anyway, win a $3,700 Digital Storm PC plus every Valve game ever. Oh,
man, that usually costs you like $20 on a Steam sale.
Yeah. 10 huge MMOs go free to play, and how many of those are left? All right.
2.
What we got here? We got the last one for 2011. I got here. It's Nintendo Power.
Oh, yeah.
Kirby's on the top. I mean, on the front. Well, they're all stacking on each other. And you got Kirby Mass Attack and Kirby's Return to Dreamland. I don't remember Mass Attack.
I remember it being a thing, but I don't remember what it is at all.
Yeah. All right.
It was the
Kirby. It's a Lemming
Kirby
style.
Battle Royale
Okay,
game.
so that's why there's a lot of Kirby's. It's a Lemming style platform game, which in the Kirby series and was published on Nintendo. Blah blah blah. It is the 4th and last Kirby game to be released for the DS. Oh, it came on the DS. Okay.
Kirby's had a lot of weird games. They've done a lot of different style things.
Yeah, they have. It got rated pretty good. It got 83 on Metacritic. Destructor gave it a 9.5.
Nice. It's because it's a Nintendo game, Dominic. Nintendo pays with the big bucks.
And OneUp.com, when that was still a thing, they gave it an A-. Game Trailers get an 8.1, IGN 8.5. What game before it gave it? 8.5. Yeah, it's got some decent scores. Nintendo Power give it an 8. I'm surprised. How somebody give it a higher than their own magazine?
Nintendo Power can't be bought, Dominic.
All right. So that is it for 2011. Now we're going to 2001. Let's look at this cover here. We got Electronic Gaming Monthly. Had Final Fantasy X on the front. And the art, which I'm going to look up right now because I wrote it down. Hold on. But I write it down now. Satoru Hosonaga. And because he does a lot of art for Final Fantasy games. Like this type of art right here. Like he did that for 1, 2, and 3, I believe. And
It's always the art that fools me, Dominic. I'm like, man, this game's going to be beautiful. And then I see it and it looks like Final Fantasy VII. And I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, this art always turned me off for some reason. I mean, when I was younger, now I appreciate it more. But I was younger, I was like, I don't like what the hell this looked like. What the hell? Ew. But no, yeah, I mean, it's got the fancy art. And the thing is, I've never seen this art style. I've never seen it, the Final Fantasy X art style like this. Mm-hmm. With it, this is actually the first time I've seen this. It's on limited edition cover. Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah, and I definitely cannot wait for this game. This is like my favorite Final Fantasy game for a while. Mm-hmm. I mean, until I appreciated 9 more, and then I like that one better. Now I like that one still the best. All right, so what else we got here, Dan? We got Nintendo Power. They have Mario Kart Super Circuit on the front.
I remember this one. I had that one.
One of the best Mario Kart games for the handheld. I think what is the best handheld Mario Kart game? Is it 7? Do people say 7 or did they say Super Circuit still?
You could probably say 7. I have a lot of nostalgia for Super Circuit. Like, and I spent a lot more time with that because of where I was in my life.
Yeah,
you know, I was a kid with a Game Boy. But yeah, I mean, they're probably 1, 2, A and B right there.
It says also Nintendo GameCube hits. You know, the GameCube's coming out. Mm-hmm. And advanced strategies. I don't feel like going through them. There they are. N64 specials. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, Madden NFL 2002. Those are the last few N64 games.
Yep.
And Game Boy Color extras. Tomb Raider, Curse of the Sword, Dragon Warrior Monsters 2, which is, I believe, it's like the Pokemon of Dragon Warriors game. All right.
Yeah.
All right. PlayStation Magazine. And we have The Rock up here. Look at this. Just bring it. Buy this magazine, jabroni. God. WF on PS2. Also, they have Onimusha 2, which is funny. They already have that. Capcom builds a super sequel. The game just came out that year. Just months ago. Yeah. Also, Tekken 4 Overload, 16 new screens and game secrets. You got 40 exclusive screens, tables, and this is for Just Bring It. Tables, ladders, and chairs. Yeah, I thought that was a big deal. Fight in the crowd. Thought that was a big deal, too. Smack Michael Cole. Yes, you always want to do that.
That was the biggest deal.
Man, just said this game just did not turn out as good as I thought it would. PS2 Online revealed the games you'll be dying to play on the internet. I never did it. I never played a PS2 game online. Resident Evil Code Veronica. Yep, this is when it was coming over. I was like, yay, I finally get to have the potential to play it. And I never did because I was scared. Plus, NBA Street. Yep, the best NBA arcade game, in my opinion. SSX Tricky. Star Trek. I don't know what Star Trek that is. Crash. Test Drive. Off-Road. Gundam. Spy Hunter. Deus Ex. Eco. NCAA Football, and more. Man, NCAA Football.
That just sounds like one of our YouTube tags. It's like, this game name. Gundam. Gundam what?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So our next magazine is Game Pro. And on this cover is Soul Reaver and Blood Omen 2.
Man.
For the PS2. These are the games that I think me and you regret that we never got our hands on. Just never played. Because
definitely Soul Reaver. Blood Omen 1, the first one that was like a top-down guy.
That looked crappy.
Yeah, my buddy played it all the time. Like, he was super into it, but I didn't like that style of game at the time. I mean, I still really don't, but like Soul Reaver always looked super cool to me.
Yeah, I used to read in magazines how it was okay, but I was like, I don't know. If it ain't the 9 or 10, I don't know.
Well, I got so much money here. Come on.
But they have those games on front, and you also have, look at this, the Game Boy Advance Super Street Fighter 2 on it. Also Final Fight 1 and Wario Land. Also talk about Shenmue 2, Onimusha 2, Madden NFL 2002. A lot of 2s right here. Final Fantasy Chronicles, Armored Core 2. Look at that, man. Oh, another age.
Yeah.
Scorching must-have PlayStation games. Silent Hill 2. I actually play a little bit of this. Very little. I saw the first monster and then I stopped. Typhoon Filter 3. I never played 2 or 3. I did like 1, even though I hated the part when you actually had to do sneaking. That was the worst part for me. Luckily, there was a code for level skip, so I got to skip that one.
There you go.
Oh, and the Spider-Man game. Spider-Man the movie game, I think. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah. But I was definitely waiting for this game because I was like, man, this looks so real. And I think my friend got it, and I was like, it's all right. I don't know. I just wasn't into that one. Not until 2. 2 I got. All right. So I can finally get to Game Informer now. And on the cover, I had this cover. I mean, I had the cover, but I had this magazine. It's with Devil May Cry on the front, Dante double wielding some pistols.
Yep.
And yeah, I couldn't wait for this game. When I found out like what kind of game it was, like, oh yeah, this game it could be awesome. Dante turns the tables on survival horror. It's not. I don't know why they call it survival horror.
I think just because of its ties to Resident Evil originally, like turns the tables on it. So really, it's not anymore.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's definitely
it's gotta
confusing.
Be. Yeah, because I mean, it plays. I mean, it doesn't play like Resident Evil, but it still has that fixed camera like Resident Evil does. But thing is, anything. I mean, I remember some magazines. Now I don't know if them, but some magazines even called survival horror when it came out, and I'm like, yo, you're not survival horror. The keyword survival. Like you have limited resources. I did not. There were infinite bullets in these guns. I did not have limited resource, and the pistols is infinite bullets. So I'm like, there's no limited resources. Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you, Daniel. I think all the guns were infinite ammo. I'm trying to think. Did I pick up ammo for the other guns? I don't think so. But yeah, and I had a sword. Like I was going after enemies. This wasn't me running away from anybody. Oh yeah, surprising ties to Resident Evil 4. Oh, I guess they got to talk about how it came from that. Complete strategy guide, first review. Oh, they got everything. They got the review and stuff in here. Have games gone too far? PI moderates the government versus gamer debate.
They heard about that game you played earlier, that anime one.
Space World 2001, Daniel. Mario and Zelda revealed for the GameCube. Woo.
That was the fucking year we finally saw a Zelda that wasn't Zelda.
Yeah,
and then we didn't get it.
People were so disappointed.
That was before Zelda, right? That was
no Zelda. Yeah, it's before Zelda. I think we're still seeing the
so
good looking Zelda.
We saw that, and we were like, oh my god! And then we got Zelda, and then we had to get Twilight Princess as the counterbalance to that.
Yeah. Which thing is, I like this. I love that look. When I first saw that Zelda was gonna look like that, so I'm like, God, this looks like a cartoon. This looks so cool. I didn't know people hate it because this is it's not before the internet, but I was on forums. I didn't get on forums in that time, so I didn't know how people thought of this game. And then as time went on, I now learned that people didn't really like it because it was the art style. I was like, what? That was the reason why I did get it. All right, Mortal Kombat 5. I did have this game. Fatality scored with exclusive shots. I wish I didn't play as much as I thought. It didn't grab me. I didn't play as much as I wanted to. And I think I ended up giving it to GameStop or something, traded it in. But now I'm like, I want to try these games out, but they look so terrible now. I wish it was a way to updated graphics. If I could try these games out again.
4 is definitely one, or 5 is the one that definitely brought me back in after 4. Kind of was like, oh, what happened in this series?
I'd never really seen 4. That's the thing. It was like 3 and then the 5. So I didn't even know 4 went that like kind of 3D-ish route or whatever. Like I didn't know what the hell that was. All right. So also Harry Potter, EA enrolls in Hogwarts. This is when they got the license. School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. They made horrible games. All right. All right. So now I got some covers for 30 years ago, Daniel. Well, actually, I think it's just one. Yeah, I think it's just one big one. I got a cover for 30 years ago from Electronic Gaming Monthly. And we have Sega's hottest new system, Daniel. Genesis CD-ROM coming. We got the preview of the CD-ROM. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get this. And my parents never got it because it's too expensive. But yeah, because I really wanted it. But now I don't regret my parents getting it. I actually would have been disappointed because Sonic looked the same to me on CD-ROM, even though it technically looked better, but my eyes could not see that. I could not see it looking better than the one I already had. And then it didn't have Tails. It was basic Sonic. And there was no Tails to Sonic CD. So I was like, wait a minute, why is Tails not here? So I would have been pissed. The only game I really won on Sega CD was really Beamish. Like, that's the game I saw. I was like, I want that game. But hey, I got it on PC. My dad got it for me. So I was like, oh, CD-ROM. I thought that was just a Sega thing. That's what I thought. I thought it was a Sega thing. I was like, oh, it's on a PC too.
They invented the CD.
Yeah. All right. So also they got Nintendo Specials, Super Bases Loaded. Oh man, Trog. What is that? Shatterhand. I guess it's Game Boy Simpsons. I guess that's the GB stand for.
That's what I wondered.
EDF. I think it's Earth Defense Force. That's an early Earth Defense Force. Super Spy Hunter. Good God. Game Boy Blades of Steel. Also 16-bit Blowout. Shining in the Darkness. Arxis Odyssey. Shining in the Darkness. That sounds familiar. What is that? Is that an RPG? I don't know. I feel like I've seen that before. There are some Shining. Used to be Shining games, but I don't know if that's the same thing. Raiden. What's Raiden? I feel like I know that.
Isn't that one of the ninjas?
I feel like that is.
I think that's one of the ninjas. Or wait, Raiden.
No, that's a shooter.
Raiden.
That's like a bullet hell shooter or something like that.
Huh.
Because they got.
Of course, all it gives me is Raiden. Oh, is it that?
There's Raiden 2. They got different. There's a whole lot of Raidens.
Yeah. Why'd they name it that way? I remember that game now, but why didn't they put the dash in there? I don't think I've ever seen that game with the dash anywhere.
Arxis Odyssey. Saint Sword. Don't know what that is. NHL Hockey. Parasol Stars. Speedball 2. Man, doing all these games I don't even fucking know. What the hell are these?
Parasol Stars. Just beating people up with umbrellas.
Also, bonus inserts for TurboGrafx 16 and Altered Space. Okay. And yeah. Oh, wait.
What is the exclusive look at Sonic the Bulldog? What is Sonic the Bulldog?
What the hell is that? Probably nothing. Because I never heard that in my life. I mean, I typed in Sonic Bulldog and all I see is like a bulldog with Sonic costume on. All right, so so there is one cover I forgot. It's like a Game Informer cover. This is the first Game Informer. I'm sorry. The first Game Informer came out 30 years ago. Let me get to it. I forgot to put it up.
Oh, so this is the very first one, huh?
Yep. Actually, it came out in August, but it's fall. I mean, I guess technically all these magazines come out a month before we really say it, but yes, that's how the magazines are. All right, so I mean a month after. Well, no, a month before. I'm gonna say that right. Okay.
Yeah, a month before.
So Game Informer had their first cover, which was Sonic on the front. I had this cover. I mean, I keep saying cover. Had this magazine, and because I remember, I think my dad, we went to well, it wasn't even GameStop, Funkoland, and they had those. Yeah, nice. They had those for free. I mean, that I don't think you had to pay for this. I think it was just free when you went in there. But what they got up here, they got Sizzling Hot pre-release reviews inside, Decap Attack, Micro Machines, NHL Hockey. Oh, Micro Machines video game. There
Micro Machines, yeah.
Game Genie Controversy. What?
Oh man, even back then, Dominic.
They were saying
okay.
Yeah, who gives a damn? Best bets to keeping equipment clean. Oh yeah, I needed that for my Nintendo. Super Sonic tips throughout this issue. Okay. Also, they've got ghoulish scenes from Decap Attack and body slamming action on Angel Hockey. Okay. What's new for the fall? Screen previews inside. Funko, the best way to increase your video game library. Yeah, Funko.
Yeah, just buy more.
Wait a minute. Did it just not call it Funko Land? Did this call a Funko at the time?
No, they're talking about Funko Pops, Dominic.
Oh, okay.
They knew the future.
Yeah, they did. All right, so that is it for the flashback segment. So I guess we'll take a break, and when we get back, get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get into the gaming news. So what we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic. News out of Blizzard is that McCree is going to lose his name. You know, when this whole situation started going down, I kind of mentioned the idea of that, and it seemed kind of absurd at the time, but here we are. They've released a press release stating their intention to change McCree's name. Currently, it doesn't seem like they have a new one lined up yet, but how do you feel about Overwatch cowboy character number 1?
Yeah, that'll be a good name. Do what the Washington team did. You know, get rid of the Redskins.
Because you do have Overwatch
basic.
cowboy character number 2, which is the woman. Although I guess she would be cowgirl character. I don't know how that works.
Oh, okay. So
everybody can be a cowboy, right?
Yeah. I understand why they did it, though. I mean, if they kept it, I don't think it would have been a big deal. I really don't. But to show some goodwill, like they're trying to change, I guess this is a good step. This is a good step. Like, this ain't something a hill I'm going to die on. Like, I don't care that much about McCree, and also it's a video game, so it's like, you want to change the name, go ahead. I mean, it's not. Yeah. I'm not too attached to this, and nor probably shouldn't be, because it hasn't even been that out. I think Overwatch is still. I mean, it's been out for a bit, but not that long. Like, to be like, oh, this is just a staple in history.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
Like, not a big deal.
I mean, it definitely seems like they've learned their lesson now from naming characters after people in their company. It sounds like they had also done this on a smaller scale with some like NPCs and some weapon names in World of Warcraft already. So it sounded like they were kind of on this trajectory, and McCree being kind of one of the biggest names there. It makes sense. So, I support them in that endeavor.
Just don't name things after.
Yeah, just don't name things.
Just don't name.
Make words. Make words up. Yeah, so that's unfortunate for McCree fans, but I'm sure he'll get some cool cowboy name and everybody will be happy again. So, yeah, Overwatch 2 is still a thing, Dominic, maybe.
The Ace Attorney did with Sherlock Holmes when they call it Herlock. Holmes call it, that doesn't work with Eastwood. I don't know how you would even say that, putting the E where the C is. That is not a word. It's like you can't really pronounce it. Elent, Crestwood.
Elliot. I was gonna say Elliot Crestwood. I like that idea though.
Yeah, that's something.
Except I don't know how they feel about Clint Eastwood right now. So.
Oh yeah, he's dead.
Have we officially canceled him yet?
Well, hold on.
Can we?
Maybe not Clint Eastwood, but maybe one of his characters. In his movies. What was it?
Well, McCree could just be the man with no name. So very fitting, don't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know what. Yep.
It's a little long, but you could call him like MW.
They do have I think somebody says the story is that's not his real name anyway. He has a real name.
Oh, okay.
But I think there's a reason why he wants to say his real name, so I don't think you want to call it that.
Right. Or they just make a story about how now he's fine with it because he's come to terms with himself and something. I don't know. I believe they've got some creativity in them to figure this out. It's not that hard a problem to solve.
No.
They'll figure it out. The second game's not even out yet. It's been one game that he's been named McCree. They can change it. It'll be fine. So it's just kind of funny that we got to that point. She's saying, finish up that podcast and get out here.
All right, so what else we got?
All right. So we got Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad, Dominic. We're going to see some more of those games at the DC Fandome coming up in October on the 16th. So I'm excited about that. I definitely want to see more of both of those games.
Yeah,
Suicide Squad, I'm very intrigued by what they're doing as far as like, is that going to be a focused multiplayer kind of thing? Or are we talking like maybe that's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy style thing where you've always got people with you, but in reality, it's just, just a single player game.
Yeah, I just want some gameplay. Because the other game, we actually did see some gameplay.
Yeah.
So I still want to see more, though. But yeah, Suicide Squad, I just want to know what kind of game it is.
Yep. I just want to kill Superman, Dominic. Let's see
That's
what I'm
the
going to
thing.
do to kill Superman.
Are they going to make it so that you do kill Superman? Or because
It's a night bullet, Dominic.
I just want to know, because Superman looked like he killed somebody in that trail, and I'm like, that man,
Yes, he does.
maybe it's better to kill him because he can't live with himself knowing he killed people.
It's always better to kill. I mean, I wonder if maybe it's like somehow tied to like the Justice World. Excuse me. I mean, they're doing like the movies and everything, right? So
It could be another timeline.
The movie.
Yeah, it was another timeline or something.
So, yep. DC loves, their multiverse stuff. So, absolutely.
Everybody loves multiverse. I mean,
Exactly.
everybody as in Marvel and DC.
Anybody that wants to ever retcon something loves having a multiverse. All right, Dominic, also coming soon. We got Judge Dredd coming to Call of Duty. What do you think? You're a big Judge Dredd fan?
I mean, that's cool. I mean, I like Judge Dredd, Stallone. I never seen the newest one.
I am the law.
I mean, I used to I think I seen it a couple years back. I mean, for the time, that's the type of movie, it's just this.
Yeah. Hokey action movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Still fun.
So, I mean, I think that's cool. They have probably Call of Duty. I just want to know so they only can see you because it's first person, right? So are you you just that character? But they can at least have you say something as you shoot somebody and say, "Oh, like he."
Yeah, they usually have voice lines and stuff like that with the characters as well. Yeah. Yep. And I mean, it's fitting for what they've been doing with that. Die Hard, they've got that, and they've been doing a lot of like 80s stuff, so it makes a lot of sense.
I forget that there's a Call of Duty come out this year. I just keep thinking about Warzone. Like, it just seems like I just feel like they could just stop.
Post on that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably could. I just wonder where it's standing next to like Apex Legends and Fortnite, I guess. We know it's below Fortnite. Is Call of Duty doing better than Apex Legends?
That's a good question.
Like it probably is, right?
Because I want to know, like, the player base. Like, are the player base really playing a lot of Warzone, or are they playing the main game, Call of Duty multiplayer?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, because it's weird to think that, you're kind of competing with yourself in a way that Fortnite does not. Like, you could say there was the build the world or save the universe or whatever mode, but nobody ever played that for Fortnite. It was always about
Then I made it free.
Fortnite. Yeah.
Like I said it was.
Exactly. Yep. Once they started realizing they were making money off the other one, they did not care about that thing. Ever. Yeah. All right, Dominic, in some other news, we got Lance Barr, who was one of the guys that helped design the American NES. I mean, I guess it's only NES in America because it was the Famicom in Japan.
Yes, stupid
making it look like a VCR. He also helped with things like the Wii Nunchuck and the Super Nintendo. He's leaving the company after 39 years. So it sounds like, good career spent, some good products that came out of that.
Yeah, 39 years? I mean, like, how old is he?
Let's see.
It's probably like retirement age. Unless he started when he was 1.
See. Of course, that doesn't have it. Should have just typed in age like it tried to suggest to me, Dominic. I can look at his LinkedIn. Hook up with him and be like, yo, what do you want to do? Can you get me a job can you get me your job at Nintendo?
Yeah, the look of the Nintendo looks really good. I mean, I do like it better than the Famicom. And it's not American bias. It just does. It just looks better.
Yeah. I mean, it looked a lot more like what we expected electronics to look like at the time. Like, it very much looked like a VCR.
Exactly.
I mean, even even to the point of putting the cartridge in the front.
Not like a toy for game, like for kids, a toy for kids, I should say. Yeah, it's not something like, oh, it was something that can just sit, yeah, like you said, like near the TV and actually looks like it belongs there.
Yeah. Yeah, I cannot find his age, but yeah, I would imagine he is into retirement age. So yeah,
because I wonder if
40-year career. I think.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder, it's like, hey, this is like him just stopping and retire, or him moved on to something else. I don't know.
Oh, he's gonna turn up at a rival company, Dominic. We're gonna get Sony's new PS5 redesign coming from Mr. Barr here, and it's going to kick off the console wars all over again. It's going to be like WWE and AEW.
So what's going on with the chip shortage, Dan? Is there is it getting better, or is it just the same or worse?
I think it's actually getting worse because like some of the companies that did have kind of like a backlog of them are now starting to run out of them. I just saw there was an article about Toshiba basically saying that the chip shortage for the Xbox Series X and PS5s could limit those consoles in availability all the way into 2023.
And I heard about that's right, I did see that. And then I heard, was it Ford? Or
Yep.
Yeah, that they shut their stalling some places for some weeks.
Yeah. I mean, there are places where they've literally built the cars and are just waiting for like the chips.
Yeah.
So they've just got them like parked in parking lots, and you just see these seas of new vehicles that can't be delivered until they get those chips. It's really wild right now. And yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't sound like it's getting any better at the moment. So it's really one of those things where it wasn't just COVID. It was like also like all these logistics things and just everything coming together at this one really bad point. So it's crazy.
It's appreciative that Microsoft is doing Game Pass this way. Like, I would not be playing any of these games if they did something like, oh no, all the games going to be only for Xbox Series X or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like, I couldn't play these games because then even if I could get one, and if I choose to get one, I was like, how? Like, how am I going to get one? I mean, damn, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through like waiting lines or keep calling or keep looking. I don't want to keep doing that. That's not fun to me. I just want to go and buy, So, so it's cool that Microsoft's doing that. And hell, Nintendo's not doing a new console. So maybe that, or they hold it off maybe because of the chip shortage. I don't know. They could maybe they're holding it off because like, hey, we're not going to be able to make enough. So
very possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if they've already got the current chips for the Switch lined up, then, it makes sense that you just throw a new screen upgrade in there, which you're not seeing like the same limit on screens right now. Whereas if they were trying to develop a whole new chip and get that produced, they might be at the end of whatever line, waiting line, whatever queue. So, yeah. But since you mentioned that, I'm going to bring up this news. I'm going to skip to this news real quick.
All right.
Horizon, Sony came out and showed off all the pre-order stuff. There's going to be deluxe editions and digital deluxe editions and all that stuff. But along with that came out the news that they were going to not have any free upgrade path for people who owned the PS4 or bought the PS4 version, because it's not out yet, to get the PS5 version, which Ryan had originally come out and said they were going to do that. So part of me wonders if they just did that to see if they could get away with it, because they've now since backtracked and said for this game, there will be an upgrade path. So essentially, like, anybody in the know should buy the PS4 version and then upgrade to the PS5 version for free. And then you just have both versions. Not that it really matters, but you get it for $10 cheaper, right? Because the PS5 version of the game is $70, whereas the PS4 version is $60. And that got me to thinking, because they backtracked on it, and they announced that going forward, any game coming from a first party like a God of War or a Gran Turismo 7 would have a $10 upgrade fee, which makes sense if you say that up front because you are charging $60 versus $70. But also, why are we charging $70? Because here I was like, okay, this is just the new next gen price, right?
Yeah.
But Halo Infinite is $60, Dominic. Not to mention Game Pass, but I actually looked to see like how much if I just wanted to pre-order Halo Infinite.
How about Forza 6? Forza Horizon 5.
I'll have to look that one up. Let's see. Forza Horizon. Standard edition is $60. Comes with the Xbox Series X and Xbox One versions because they're basically the same. And that's speaks to the fundamental difference between the way Microsoft has been handling these two different generations and Sony. Sony very much at the beginning of this said, hey, we've got two different products here. We want to keep them that way. But then they backpedaled on that. They didn't really have a good footing on it. They were like, hey, our next generation games are going to be next generation games. And then it turns out God of War is coming to both and Horizon is coming to both. And, you know, it makes them look stupid. And then it makes them look even stupider when they're trying to charge $10 more for the PS5 version of the same exact game. Meanwhile, Microsoft's over here just going, oh, yeah, you just buy the game at $60 and you can play it wherever you want. I don't care.
Sony it's being a little too greedy now. I mean, look, I know companies need to make money, but this is just out of whack. Like, just make it by... You're not really giving us a good reason why this is $10 more. Because just be saying, oh, it's better graphically. Yo, PC games don't... It's just you're just a PC basically. You're just like a PC. Just that. Oh, you're like like me buying a new graphics card processor and things of that nature. That's what I did. I bought your console. Like the game shouldn't cost more. Like why does this game cost more than the last one? It should have it. I can't believe that it makes that much of a difference. If
they had any balls and they wanted to go through with this, they would just say, hey, these games that are coming out cross-generation are $70 on the PS4, and you can upgrade, you can play them on the PS5 as well. Like, if they want to go that route of changing the new game price to $70, they should just stick with it with the PS4 as well and say, hey, if you want Horizon, this is a next-gen experience. We dumbed it down for your stupid console. I mean, obviously you don't want to say that, but you know, we built this with the intention of it being a next generation console. We are also making it available in not the highest fidelity for you guys, but as such, it's going to be a $70 game because that's how much it costs to make games nowadays. But they're not willing to do that, and they're getting themselves in even, in my opinion, probably even bigger trouble by trying to dance that line.
They're already showing me that these games, like y'all would try and get away with making these games exclusive when they didn't have to be. Like I think they were definitely trying to get away with that shit. Like if there was not probably the chip shortage or COVID and they had these consoles just ready out there like regularly selling, I think they would have had like Verizon Forbidden West and God of War, the new God of War and GT7. They're exclusive to PS5. And people would have said nothing. They're like, oh, yeah, they couldn't possibly be played on PS4. These are just too powerful. Now, you're telling me, now, I'm glad this came out because it shows, like, this is bull. These games can be played PS4. They were just trying to make it PS5 exclusive and make it sound like, oh, this power is so strong that they can only be played here. And it's not true. It's just, it looks better there. It plays better there, like it loads better and everything. But just like how if you upgraded your PC, it's not like it can only be made there. This is not like this generation is not like previous generations where it comes down like, man, the architecture is just so different that you're basically have to make get a whole new engine and everything. I mean. For these games, like it's just not going to be the same. Well, it's not like that anymore. And I feel like, and some people, they make an excuse for this, for relationships. They always use the excuse of like how I used to be. And I hate that excuse. It's so stupid. It's like, just because it was like that before, it should continue to be like that. What sense does that make? You're supposed to progress. Like, now we're at the point where it's not like that. Like, so, like, look, I'm buying your game. I'm still in your ecosystem. So what? Like, I got for Horizon Forbidden West. I paid $60 for it. Eventually, I'm gonna get a PS5. I'm going to be part of your ecosystem. So what's the big deal? Like, why can't I just be free to upgrade?
I'm more likely to buy DLC if I'm like, oh, I'm going to revisit this game because now I can play it on the PS5 and it looks prettier.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to the game now.
Yeah, that's horrible. Like, this definitely makes it. I mean, I'm happy because both of these systems now is not where I'm at the point where at first I was thinking like, man, I really wish I had like one of these next gen systems because I want to play these games. Xbox made it easier because like, oh, good, I can still play on PC. And now with Game Pass, cloud streaming working pretty well. Even if you can't play everything up there, but at least I have choices. You know, I have something. It may be a game I want to play and I can't play, but hey, there's probably a game on Game Pass that can keep me like, hey, I want to play this game though. So whatever, I'll keep me interested. It keeps me busy. While like in PlayStation, at first I was feeling like, man, I can't play none of these games unless a PS5. So I kind of really want this. But now that I'm seeing this on PS4, I'm like, oh, good. I don't have to rush to get the system. Like, I don't have to really think about getting it no time soon. Like, I can play these games now. But it kind of pisses me off because, man, y'all made it sound like I couldn't. Y'all made it look like I couldn't play it on the PS4.
All right, Dominic, we're going to jump back now to some of the Nintendo news. We got a new Big Brain Academy game announced, Brain versus Brain, that's coming out December 3rd, 2021. I thought that was funny because I'd mentioned that last week in regards to having like the Sudoku stuff in the 3D in the DS version. Now this one looks like it's kind of more focused on multiplayer, and it seems like you can have some like asynchronous stuff, leaderboards and everything like that. But the trailer very heavily focuses on in-person competition, and that's just not really what I'm looking for in my Big Brain Academy game, you know?
Oh, okay. I never played Big Brain Academy. I mean, it seemed like a cool game, you know, little brain teasers and do stuff like that. Because I know my old man, he does, it's something on his phone he does, like it has little quizzes and things like that he just plays with.
Just keep yourself sharp.
Yeah, exactly. So I see the interest in that. I definitely see the interest.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just like it. Yeah, I mean, if there's like an added thing with the multiplayer, like that's just an added bonus. But I prefer it just the way it was, like the way I saw it was just you doing like single player. Just
hopefully, if this one sells, I'll maybe do another one like that. So I guess that was also like
so it has to
Big
be
Brain Academy.
So wait a minute. So if they saying like is it all going to be multiplayer?
It just seems like based on the trailer that's the focus of their thing. It's not necessarily that's going to be the only thing you can do in there. I mean, they showed the woman playing some single player stuff, but I'd like a more single player focused thing of just brain training stuff. And I think that's maybe where the discrepancy is, because back in the day, the one I was playing was like Big Brain or Brain Training Academy or something like that. And then there was also Big Brain Academy, which I don't know that I ever played that version of it. So maybe it's just, you know, the difference between those things and I'm not remembering correctly, but we'll see. I teased this a little bit earlier, Dominic, but apparently there are rumors that Game Boy and Game Boy Color games will be coming to the Nintendo Online service relatively soon. Now, I wish there was also talk of Game Boy Advance games. That's when you really start getting into the ones that I would like to see, especially like the ones that I just listed off from the Ambassador program. All those fucking hits. Give me the Metroid Fusions. Give me the Metroid Zero Missions. Give me stuff like that. Like I said, Super Mario Kart Super Circuit, that'd be fucking great. But even Game Boy and Game Boy Color, there are some things that I wouldn't mind playing. Now, I was looking at a post on Reddit talking about this, and a lot of people were bringing up Pokemon. And honestly, outside of maybe Red and Blue, I could see them not putting any Pokemon games up as a part of this. You know, that seems like the kind of thing that they would keep separate for a different kind of thing. I mean, we already had Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which were basically remakes of those first games, but so maybe they already got their money out of them, and maybe that's why I can see those more so than any of the other games. But I just don't trust Nintendo enough to give us that level of game, you know, without some kind of string attached to it.
Yeah. So I hope this rumor is true, and I hope we get more. I mean,
absolutely. More Super Nintendo games, more Game Boy any Game Boy games, Game Boy Color games. Like, let's just get this thing back up to where the Virtual Console was, minus the additional cost per game. Like, come on, Nintendo. You could even, and I don't want to say this because it's already on their minds, but if you gave us like that large a library, you can raise that price on Nintendo Online service to justify that. Easily. I mean, we've talked about it in the past, but just make that the Netflix or, you know, however you want to call it, the Game Pass at this point, essentially, of old Nintendo games. Let me have access to that library and, you know, go to town, and you'll make me forget that I'm paying you monthly ASAP. It'll just become one of those things that is a part of my life, and I could probably cancel out because I haven't played in a while, but also like, it's just easier to not worry about it. And when I want to play it, I can play it. The way subscriptions go, Dominic, that's what every company hopes for. It's just people forget that they're paying them. All right. So hopefully that turns out to be true. In some other news, Dominic, this is some positive news for those of us that hate de novo, but Avengers is dropping it now. And the kind of thing which is not surprising at all if you've followed any of the past times that games have removed it. Players are reporting that there is some performance increase there after this latest patch.
That this freaking program is just causing problems for games. And they keep saying it don't. They keep saying like, no, it doesn't. Like, it does not affect the game. People keep proving them wrong.
Yeah, and we're talking about people who legitimately paid for the game too. We're not just saying that this game is causing, or this software is causing issues for people pirating games. No, it's legitimately hurting consumers who pay for this. And
yeah,
that
so doesn't make sense. Like, you heard, it doesn't make sense. You hurt the people who pay for it suffer because of, like, they're suffering instead of giving you money. That doesn't make any sense.
But that's good. It's finally out of there, and seems like a little too late at this point, but they did just release that Wakanda DLC, so maybe people are getting back into it, and hopefully you can get a little bit of a second life for them. But I don't know, Dominic. The game just seems kind of dead in the water for the most part. Just waiting on Spider-Man. That's when everybody's going to jump back into that game once Spider-Man comes out. Even the people that don't have PlayStations, they're going to be like, I want to play with my PlayStation friends and see Spider-Man. Does that game even have crossplay in it? Yeah, so never mind. But I want to know that my friends with PlayStations have Spider-Man, so then I'll get back into the Xbox version.
Which is, I think that's horrible too. Like, why doesn't this game have crossplay?
It's fucking terrible, Dominic. It's terrible. Especially now, like, really, they should focus on making that a thing. As your player base shrinks, you should absolutely try and get crossplay in there to keep that player base up enough to keep that game alive. Because that's what that game is. It's a live service game. You gotta have your player base if you want to keep it live servicing. So, Speaking of mistakes that game companies have made, Dominic, CD Projekt Red on their latest financial call has now said that they can't guarantee that the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of Cyberpunk 2077 are gonna necessarily release this year. Is it just over for them? Should they just cut their losses and move on with their lives?
I mean, is it COVID? Is COVID the cause of it?
It can't be helping, but also,
I mean, I think it.
They were just in a bad spot to begin with. I think
they messed up. I mean, it's all on them from what happened last year, the end of last year. It's all on them because
absolutely
you showed it off for you advertised it when there was the previous consoles and they came out horrible. Mm-hmm. It's basically you had to play the new, have the new consoles to play it well, and it's still not up to par what it possibly could be. It could be better than that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like for people who already got it and beat it. I mean, unless you that type of person say, okay, I'm going to go back. I don't know how many. I don't think most people don't. And yeah, it's like, it really feels like this game hasn't really released. Like this was early access. I feel like this is basically, yeah, I mean, people, you can argue that access. A lot of these games are early access. So, because the way games change now, but
unfortunately, yeah,
I think that's where we at now, almost in this game industry. But the AAA games, anyway, these games are early access, and you are just testing them out. You're gonna complain what's wrong with them. They're gonna fix it. So the person finally gets it a whole lot cheaper than you did, and then they get the better game, like someone who got like No Man's Sky or something like that. Like,
yep,
if you got it when it first came out.
They're still updating. It's crazy to me, which is good, but also crazy.
Yeah, me going to No Man's Sky is going to be totally different what the hell I did when I first played that game. And it sounds like this is the game I thought it was, and more now. And yeah, Cyberpunk, I mean, this is my most anticipated game last year. Like, I could not wait. And wow, how that just fell. Like, I don't even, like, I'm at the point where I just don't care. It's like, hey, I'll just wait till whatever, next year, I guess, or even years down the line. I say, I'll go back and get that Cyberpunk game that I never did play. That's how I feel about it now.
Yeah.
Damn, it's sad.
Could you see an instance where you would just never end up playing that game?
Probably. Maybe. I mean, it all depends what comes out. Like, if something,
The Witcher 3 remaster comes out, and you're like,
oh yeah,
definitely.
I would definitely play Witcher remaster. Yeah, Witcher 3 remaster. Yeah, I'll play that before this one.
Because there is talk of that's coming out also, the next gen, quote unquote.
Because I keep thinking about just playing this one again.
Yeah.
What I keep thinking like, hey, I want to go back and play this again. I want to have sex on a unicorn again.
As we all wish to do. Yeah, so it's rough out here for CD Projekt Red, Dominic, but they did it to themselves. All right, did you see any other news you want to talk about before we get into our monthly Games for Gold and PlayStation Plus reviews?
No, I think I'm good, man.
All right, Dominic, for Games for Gold this month, we got Warhammer Crossbane, which is like a top-down Diablo-like looter guy. You got Mulaka.
Warhammer has quite a few of those.
Yeah, they just have every game genre. They have like 60 million versions of that same game. Because then there's like Warhammer, and then there's Warhammer 40K versions of each. It's just insane. Yeah. Mulaka, which I've been looking into because that seems kind of interesting. It's I guess it's based on Aborigine stuff, like the mythological stuff. Okay. It seems kind of cool, like a actiony game. And then we got Zone of the Enders HD Collection and Samurai Showdown 2.
That's interesting. Zone of the Enders HD Collection?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Does that come with a Metal Gear demo?
No. But actually, I'm thinking about 2. I did play 2. I don't know if I beat 2, but I know I played it. 1 I did beat. But yeah, I would definitely.
I've never tried any of those, so I'd be interested to see what
the anime is fuck.
What those games even play like.
I mean, actually, I wouldn't say anime, but it's Hideo Kojima, and I don't know if things make sense. I'm curious to go back to this because I don't remember the story at all. All right. Wait a minute. Samurai Showdown, that's the fighting game, right? And
yep. Yeah.
What's the latest one that came out called?
Was that just Samurai Showdown?
It wasn't 3, right?
Epic Games. No, that's the old one. Right? Is that the old one? Or is this a new one? I don't know. I can't tell. I feel like it was just called Samurai Showdown for some reason.
I don't know. It didn't look that great. Like compared to the fighting games.
Yeah. It definitely is kind of, yeah.
But if people rather play that than Mortal Kombat at the freaking Evo, it's just weird to me because Mortal Kombat is the best-selling fighting game in the world.
Yep.
And it's just like, oh, at Evo, nah, they don't want it, and it's like
the meta's just not there, Dominic. Whatever that means, but I've heard fighting people say that.
Yeah, it's so weird. I was like, yeah, some anti-American bastards. You anti-American bastards. Hate your goddamn country. That you go and support these Japanese games and can't support the American one.
You want to be patriotic, you got to support Ed Boon.
The one that's still doing it because there is no killer instinct.
Yeah. All right, Dominic, for PlayStation Plus, we got Overcooked All You Can Eat for the PS5, and then Hitman 2, the newest Hitman 2, and Predator Hunting Grounds for the PS4.
Overcooked All You Can Eat, is that like a latest one or that's the first one? What was that?
That is the collection that has all the stuff.
Oh, well, that is damn good. And Hitman 2, yeah, that's cool too. Predator Hunting Grounds, I mean, hey, I guess it'll be like what Friday the 13th game. Hey, you get it for free, and you got more people playing because you got the free version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I don't forget that came out, but I forget that game's still alive. Like, I feel like at some point we heard that they were shutting that down or something.
Oh, I forgot to mention.
Even though it just came out last year.
I did play some of that Alien Fire Team.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I didn't record anything, though, but it's not that great. So I understand why it's not rated that high. I don't know, it just doesn't feel... It's not. I mean, it's Summons of Lawful for Dead, but it's just not as good. Like it's Back for Blood, even the Back for Blood. Like the areas look the same. Like I was going through, and the aliens. I don't know. It just doesn't. There's something about it that just didn't grab me in that game. Like, hey, I should pick it up for myself and play. Just wasn't feeling it.
It's unfortunate.
Graphically, it didn't. Well, outside now, I mean, I played on my PC, so I don't know even the best graphics. It's not that impressive. Well, it's definitely not that impressive outside of the main game. Like when you're in the at base, talking to people like the models, the character models, kind of crappy.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, I guess that is kind of a discount game too, right? Like it came out at $40 or $50.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, but still, it's disappointing, especially when there was kind of talk around it of like, hey, this is kind of going to be cool. I mean, I thought it looked cool at least.
I mean, look, yeah, it's just, it's just not giving that same feeling.
Yeah. Hopefully one of these 70 million other ones that are coming out with a similar style gameplay will be good. All right, Dominic, you got anything else before we get into new releases this week?
No, I'm good.
All right, we got new releases. We got Lake for the PC and Xbox One. That's the one that was kind of chill. I talked about during the game demo time, where you're just a woman going back to her hometown and becoming a mail person, and then you find yourself doing things other than delivering mail. You also have Bravely Default 2. That's now out on the PC. You got WRC 10 World Racing Championship. Some off-road rally racing stuff.
It's on 10 now.
Yeah. That's out on PC, PS4, Xbox, and PS5 and Xbox Series stuff. Big Rumble Boxing Creed Champions, Dominic, for the PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. If you are into some boxing with Rocky, then you can check that out there.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, it's got Rocky and Creed and Apollo Creed and all the Ivan Drago and all the Rocky people.
Oh, Hulk Hogan?
It's kind of cool that it's maybe it has a Hulk Hogan equivalent. I don't know. I didn't see him, but there's got to be more than like 5 characters.
Yeah.
Well, you would hope that there are more than 5 characters, so there should be. Yeah. The Medium came out on the PS5 this week. So anybody that was super excited for that hot Xbox exclusive at the time, they can check that out now. And the Big Con, Dominic, that's now out on the PC, Xbox Series X, and Xbox One. That game looks pretty funky fresh. That's the one that kind of looks like a 90s cartoon.
I thought it was
style thing
on Game Pass.
I was hoping it would be. It's one of those things that I feel like we always see as part of like Xbox's things where they're like 18 out of these 20 games are going to be on Game Pass. And then it turns out that this is one of the ones that isn't.
Just like the Lake. Just like the Lake I thought was on Game Pass.
Yeah. So I'm sure somewhere down the line it will come to Game Pass. It seems like the perfect kind of game for that. But it seems like it's getting pretty decent reviews, and I'm very much into the style of it. It looks very cool. I wonder if the gameplay could hold my attention, though. It seems like a lot of just walking around talking to people and pickpocketing, and it sounds like it's not fully voice acted. So that's something I miss. I like when games are fully voice acted, Dominic. I'm lazy and I don't want to read anymore. I'm too old for reading.
All right.
Yeah. So that is our new releases for the week. Dominic, you got anything else for the people?
No. Yeah, I'm good, man.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStallworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. Podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website where you can find all of our previous podcasts, as well as links to all the other places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, and iTunes, Stitcher, Google Music, I don't even know what they're calling it anymore. Google Music, I think. Google Podcasts.
Google Podcasts.
Yeah. Google
I think
Podcasts,
it's like YouTube
Spotify.
Music now.
Yeah. They don't know what they're doing. And Amazon Audible, Amazon Music, I think it is where it's at. So you can check us out all those places, wherever you like to subscribe to podcasts. And until next time, guys, see you later.
All right, see you.